the median African American family income annually is $41,500. Yeah. However, the annual African American spending,
what we all spend together,
what we all collectively spend together, is 1.35 trillion now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How do we convert income to generational wealth? Because whether we hustle to get it,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Whether we gamble to get it,
yeah,
whether we rob to get it,
yeah,
whatever we do to get it, whether we work to get it, whatever we do to get it, it hits our hands.
Yeah.
But when it hits our hands, what we decide to do with it, that discipline that must be instilled, taught, and practiced.
Yeah.
That's what's like. How do we instill, teach, and motivate our young people and ourselves? Because I need more discipline too. You know what I'm saying? But how do we do that so we can, have more generational wealth among us?
So I've seen it argued. I think the name of the book is "The Myth and Propaganda of Black Buying Power." There are two sides of the argument now. So on one side, you have very leftist of what people describe liberal as typically very conscious and pro-black in perception. And they're saying that the numbers you just stated is a mythology, that the 1.2 trillion won't save black people from the position they're in. So there's an argument.
Let's explain that. I want to hear what their position is.
What they're saying is that you're spending your dollar, but it doesn't matter because the dollar is escaping the community. Now, on the other side, you have conservatives like Walter E. Williams, who's a natural economist. You have Thomas Sowell on the other side that are saying, no, your dollar matters in this economy. And capitalism is the best system for you, although not perfect. It allows you to provide goods and services. And for those goods and services, in return, you get the opportunity to gain capital to pass on wealth and to employ others. You keep it going. Now, the truth, to me, is somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Right?
It usually is.
Buying shit alone will not save the African-American community.
Right.
But until you get to a means where you produce the raw materials that do shit, a good median is to at least own the stores.
Okay.
So when I sneaker shop, if I have to after buy, I tend to buy, instead of pivoting toward even a StockX, who are the black dealers or black stores that I could buy from?
Right.
Because I know if I support that, I'm supporting that store, which supports that owner, which supports 5 and 10 employees, which puts more dollars. And then those kids go down to Peter and Walker Street. They spend that at Escobar. They spend it at Bankhead Seafood. Mm-hmm. Now that dollar's moved 3 times.
That's right.
In our community. It's helped to employ 3 different sets of people.
Okay.
It's moved that. Much like Greenwood, the place in Tulsa, was a self-sufficient town in the middle of a white racist city because that dollar had to turn 36 times a month. Although the black customer dollar leaving your community will not save you, I would have to argue the black customer dollar, consumer dollar staying in helps your community and the greater community, so much to the point that when I interviewed and told that to the Bloomberg magazine and said that, focus buying, if our economy does better, the greater community does better, the head of the feds in Atlanta agrees with that. So when people tell me that the black buying power is a mythology, I'll nod and I'll say, okay, but what isn't a mythology is if you sharpen the tip of your spear.
Right.
If we're spending money like here, it doesn't work. But the minute your spear does this, and it says, I'm only going to move my money here.
Right.
And when that happens, what you start to see is a transition. Well, what's the transition you see? The day after we did that, we say, well, what's going to happen next? We don't know. More black people got accounts. They were flooded with accounts, had to hire new employees at the banks. But about 30 days later, Wells Fargo came up with $60 million for black mortgages. They didn't do that for black and brown. They didn't do that for disenfranchised or poor. They did it for black mortgages. And they specifically said black at a time where they weren't. You get what I'm saying? Right. So for me, when people argue the mythologies or they argue, and it's not me trying to argue with that professor, but again, this professor, the argument on the other side is given by an economist.
Sure.
Walter Williams is an economist.
Right.
And he's saying...
He studies this.
Yeah, that's all he
spent his life studying this.
Yeah, he said, Negro, take your money. Take care of yourself first, partner with others in your communities, and use that community's money as a focus to grow.